So Black Ops 4 just came out, and I told you guys I didn't buy the game, and to right now I still haven't bought the game. The main reason I didn't buy Black Ops 4 is because, well, I didn't have the cash for it, and I think I'm not actually going to end up picking Black Ops 4 for quite some time. And the reason I'm making this video is not really to review the game or anything. There is kind of a problem with Black Ops 4. Now, it's not like I'm trying to bash Activision, bash Treyarch, or anything like that. This is just the truth, and I wanted to talk about it in this video. As you guys know, in the gaming industry, there's a lot of bad tactics, whether it be too many loot boxes in games or bad DLC. If you go back to last generation, the Xbox 360 and PS3, you may remember how EA was actually ripping out parts of games like Mass Effect, and they were actually selling the true ending of the game for DLC, and that's just ridiculous when you're paying $60 for a game and then you're not getting the true experience or the true final ending because EA is thinking, well, it's a good idea to rip the actual ending out of the game and force you to buy the true ending of the game if you wanted to see the true ending of the game. And then there was stuff like EA back at it again this generation with last year. If you remember last year back in November when they released Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2 was a case where they put too many loot boxes and too much bad stuff in the game where it pretty much gave people an advantage who paid money for the loot boxes, the DLC, whatever the case may be. And then people who couldn't buy that thing got a disadvantage because, well, they didn't have better equipment than the people who paid up. So it pretty much meant if you're rich, you're going to be better at the game, and if you're poor, you're not going to be better at the game. That's pretty much how it went with the whole EA thing when it comes to Battlefront 2, and Battlefront 2 was a big freaking mess when it came to video games. And then there's other companies like 2K Sports is doing stuff shady too with NBA 2K19. NBA 2K19 in Belgium didn't have any microtransactions, but then they're telling people in Belgium, go to your local government and complain about 2K19 not having any loot boxes in the game because the Belgian government considers loot boxes and stuff like that gambling, so it's not allowed in video games. And they're telling people in Belgium to go complain about those laws. Do you think anybody's going to go to their governor, go to their senator, go to the actual government in Belgium and actually complain about this? I don't think so. That's just stupid and ridiculous. It just pretty much shows how pathetic 2K is as a company. I don't think anyone's going to disagree here. That's just really shady and really stupid. Why would 2K be that desperate? If the product is a good game in the first place, why would you tell people in that country to go get it? I think what the case is, they know the game's a good game. They just want extra money in their cash. They're anti-consumer. They just really want all the cash for themselves. Well, it looks like we have another situation here when it comes to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now, this situation is not that bad, and it's really not that big, and it's nothing like the EA fiasco we had with Battlefront 2. So if you think that it's going to be as bad as Battlefront 2, unfortunately, it's not that bad. But I'm going to explain what I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about I'm talking about Black Ops 4. And with Black Ops 4 recently, of course, you know, you got the main standard multiplayer stuff. They ripped the single-player aspect out of the game, and a lot of people didn't have a good taste in their mouth when they heard about the single-player aspect of Black Ops 4 being removed from the game. That's already not a good start when you have a franchise who's been doing a campaign mode for quite some time, and they just remove it for just a multiplayer experience for $60. Depending on who you are, you may love it or hate it. People are torn between this. Is it a good idea or is it a bad idea? Well, they're doing some more kind of shady practices depending on how you look at it. You know, in these games they do DLC, they do loot boxes. Actually, come to find out in this Black Ops 4 game, from everywhere I've seen, they're not actually putting any loot boxes or microtransactions in the game, even cosmetic ones. You would think they would put cosmetic ones in the game, but there is no cosmetic loot boxes or microtransactions anywhere to be found in Black Ops 4. So I guess on their part, that's actually pretty good. But we know down the line they may patch this in the game. They're just trying to make it look clean at first so people will be gravitated towards this game, and then maybe when they put the loot boxes or the microtransaction cosmetic skins in the game, then some people may be turned away. But for now, that's a good job on them that they're not putting these loot boxes or microtransactions in the game, even if they're cosmetic. They're pretty much staying clear of that. However, yes, there is a however to this story, because of course you can't not put microtransactions in the game and then not do nothing else. Of course, if they're going to remove microtransactions and remove loot boxes from the game, of course they're going to try another tactic to get your money. $60 is just not enough for a video game apparently, and we have to do something else if we're not going to put microtransactions and loot boxes in the game. What are they going to do? Well, if you buy the game on day one, you actually already have the season pass. The season pass is up right now for Black Ops 4, and get this, the season pass for Black Ops 4, I can 100% confirm, is $50, and that is just freaking ridiculous considering the game is already $60 and then you're going to pay $50, which is pretty much close to another retail game. So you pretty much paid for the price of 2 games if you buy Black Ops 4 and then you buy the season pass for Black Ops 4. You're pretty much paying for 2 games, and that's ridiculous. What actually is happening here is when you buy the season pass for Black Ops 4, apparently there's already some content on the disc that's already on there that they've already programmed in the game on the disc when they shipped it, but you just can't access it until you pay the season pass. You basically get another some more zombie stuff. I think you get another zombie map and some other stuff, and it's just ridiculous how they're actually making you pay $50 for this DLC for just another zombie map and whatnot. That's ridiculous how the DLC is actually on the disc on day one. It's not like other Call of Duties where they add stuff down the line. Of course, when you buy a Call of Duty game, you know when you buy a Call of Duty game, you know that there's going to be season passes, DLC, and all that thing. That's to be expected when it comes to Call of Duty, because Call of Duty's been doing this for quite some time, so it shouldn't be surprising. It's just the fact that, first of all, this is $50, which is absurd for this thing when you consider that these games only last about a year, and then after a year, of course, a new Call of Duty game comes out, and a lot of people will migrate over to the next Call of Duty. So what's the point of paying $50 for all this stuff in the game when you know that it's going to be outdated in a year and everyone's going to pretty much move on? And the fact that it just really sucks too, knowing that you paid $60 for this game, but they're going to lock content behind the season pass, like the new zombie map, just because, well, they're expecting you to pay for this season pass, and it sucks too that pretty much it's already on the disc. They just did not unlock it. It just goes to show you that a lot of companies are just doing bad tactics and bad practices in the gaming industry. But again, I've said this on other videos, I will have to admit, we're just as guilty as Activision and Treyarch, because let's face it, there are people out there that are going to pay the $50 for the season pass right now just to play that new zombie map that's already on your disc. When you buy the disc, you just have to unlock it. If it wasn't for people like some people out there buying these DLCs or buying these season passes, which just aren't worth it, then they might not put as many of these in the game. We just need to stop buying these season passes. We need to stop buying these microtransactions and things like that. So the gamers are at fault as well. But then Activision doesn't have to go and do something this shady. Why would they do something this shady to their customers and to their gamers? They know the gaming industry is really big, and they know gamers spend a lot of moolah when it comes to video games. Video games is one industry where they can pretty much keep milking you and milking you and milking you. If you think about other industries when it comes to entertainment, whether it be like books, movies, TV, they don't really milk their customers. Pretty much the only industry where they're really milking their customers dry is the gaming industry, and it's really all of our fault for doing that. It's just a shame that they won't do these practices much more better. There are companies out there that have done good season passes, that have done good loot boxes, done good DLC and things like that. 2 of them I can think off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more examples out there, but 2 of them off the top of my head that were in recent years one was Borderlands 2. For me personally, now this might not be true for everybody, but for me personally, I thought that the Borderlands 2 DLC, even the season pass, was worth it. You got a whole bunch of content, and on top of that, they tried to make each area unique. They tried to make the enemies in that area play different than the main story. Overall, I thought the quality of the DLC was worth it when it comes to Borderlands 2. And then the other one I'm going to talk about is pretty much one that pretty much everybody agrees with. I don't think there's a single soul on planet Earth. Yes, I said it, and I think you'll agree too when I say this is one game that I think everybody on planet Earth did not agree on when it comes to DLC. The Mario Kart 8 DLC, the original game that came out on Wii U, you had to pay for DLC. The DLC was an amazing deal. Nobody could complain about it. It was pretty much $12, but you got 16 tracks, you got like 8 more cards, you got 4 more characters. That was just an amazing deal. So as you can see, some companies will milk their customers dry, like EA, like 2K, like Activision, but then there's other companies like Nintendo who will do good DLC, and they will make it right for their customers, and they will make it feel like you're not just paying extra money for extra content. You're actually getting a little bit more for your money, and you're making your game go a little bit longer. So that's just pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to talk about how they're pretty much milking every cent out of you when it comes to Black Ops 4. Are there going to be people who buy this DLC? Without a doubt, there's going to be people who buy this DLC, and I think Activision and Treyarch both know that there's going to be people who buy this, and they will get an extra $50 out of their customers. But honestly, I highly don't recommend paying the $50 for the season pass just to get this new zombie mode. I think the season pass too that you're paying for, I think might be other content that's coming out throughout the year. I can't confirm or deny that, but that's usually how it happens with season passes. With season passes, usually you have like 4 or 5 different content packets with it. You don't just get one. But for the time being right now, there's no like official DLC, I do believe, for Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 just came out a couple weeks ago, and it's just too early. But I do know you do get another zombie map. I guess if you want another zombie map and you want to go ahead and spend $50 just like you're buying another video game, be my guest and waste the money and show EA, Treyarch, and show all those other companies out there in the gaming industry that, yes, you need to milk us for everything we're worth. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.